So in this lesson, we're going to learn about the trapezoidal rule, okay? So it's using the area of a trapezium. We're going to somewhat use that to find the approximation of shapes with parallel sides. So I'll talk more about that. But essentially, we're going to look at an approximation. Now, approximation is not exact, but often it gets us a pretty good example of what it is, okay? So write this down. If you think the trapezoidal rule sounds a lot like trapezium, it's because they're directly involved with each other. All right, so the first thing I want to do is bring you to the HSC formula sheet. And you'll see that there's two formulas that I've written out here, and that's the area of a trapezium, because that's what we're going to use today, and the trapezoidal rule, okay? Now you will see that they actually look quite similar. So they work in very similar ways because in actual fact, the trapezoidal rule is based on the area of a trapezium, so that's why it looks very, very similar to it. The only thing that you've got to notice is that that is not an equal sign, that is approximately equal. All right, let's get going. So here we have a trapezium. Now I know it's a trapezium because there's two parallel sides here, okay? And we just find out. Now, X and Y are just the parallel sides. So here's the area of a trapezium. I found it on my formula sheet. Now I'm just going to work it out. Now, what is my height? Here it is, 5. So I'm going to put 5 into there, and so it's going to be over 2. Now, this is where you don't have to worry too much. X and Y are interchangeable. It's this or this. So it could be either one. It doesn't matter, all right, as long as we put both of them in. So I'm just going to start with the top one, 4 plus 6. So we get area equals 5 over 2, and it's going to be 10. 4 plus 6 is 10, all right. Now we put this in our calculator, remembering that there's a times between these two. So we've got area equals, it's going to be 50 divided by 2, 25 centimeters squared, because area is square area, okay? So that's a trapezium, okay? Now this one is the trapezoidal rule, all right? So that's what we're looking rule, okay? So that's the one we're looking for. Now here, see how it says D first, DF and DL? The F means first, all right? And the L means last, all right? So there's going to be a first function value and there's going to be a last function value, all right? Now the H will often be horizontal, okay, as you see here. The H normally will be between two values, all right? So it'll be the distance between those two values. All right, let's do it. So A is approximately equal to, what is our H? It's a distance between the two values. So it will be 14 over 2, bracket, what's our first value? That's that there. What's our second value? That's that there. Now we're just going to work it out. Make sure you keep your curly brackets because it's not equal, it's approximately equal. 14 over 2, which is actually, we know what that is. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 times bracket 22, okay? So therefore the area is going to be approximately 7 times 22, which is 77, 154. Now what are our units? Centimeters. And it's squared because remember area is square area. Okay? One more example. You're not always just going to get one shape. You might get a situation where here we have to use this twice, all right? And the reason for that is that there's a function value here, and then there's another one here, All right. So we need to do a little bit of work before we can use it. Here we've been told the whole length, but we're going to split it up into two little trapezoidals. So I need to split this in half. So this will be, what's half of 30? 15. And this will be 15. One thing to note, these will always be exactly the same value. All right. There won't be a case where they won't be the same value. So be aware of that. Okay. So in essence, what we're doing is essentially we're doing a composite trapezoidal rule to find an answer. Okay. So the area of this will be approximately area 1 plus area 2. Now, we can do it all in one go. What's our h? Now remember, h in this is not going to be up. It's going to be the thing that goes across most of the time. So it will be the 15. So it's going to be 15 over 2. What's our first function value? Here, that's 20. Plus, what's our last function value of that first trapezoidal, of this first trapezoidal here? It's this, 18. So we'll put 18. And now we close it. So essentially, we've done this guy already. All right, so now it's our turn to do this one. So we're going to go plus. Now the h is the same because it's still 15 and it should always be the same. What's our first function value for this second trapezium of sorts that we're doing here? Yeah, it's 18. Because see, it starts at 18 now. And our last one, well, it's pretty obvious. It's just going to be this guy here. And now we can just pop it all into our calculator. I'm going to fix this up a little bit more. 38 plus 15 over 2. And that's going to be 40. But now, essentially, I can just put it all in my calculator. All right. So I'm actually going to do that. All right. And I end up getting an area that is approximately, notice I used a different way of writing this approximately. This works exactly the same way. Just wanted to show it to you. I've got approximately 585. Our units are still centimeters and it's still area, so it's still square area. Okay? And that's how we do it. Okay? That's the end of the trapezoidal rule. Make sure you know where to find it in the formula sheet and make sure you know what these things are. Peace out.